started out by making a bit of a joke at the beginning of the evening that you were introducing Avitoad.
Uh-huh.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, this seems to have been a rather arduous 3D process.
Sure.
It doesn't sound like it was very pleasant.
Not so much. Look, it was interesting, and when you say, I mean, you could describe it like that, but it is a fantastic tool. I do believe in it. I know there's lots of proselytizers out there like Katzenberg and these people and James Cameron, and I think certainly it suits a particular type of film. I don't think it suits all film. I think we're going to find that out. I think we're going to see some bad 3D. I don't think it suits a dramatic two-hander, but it certainly suited Avatar because it took you into this fantasy world, and I think it suited.
You use it in a different way.
Yes.
He's immersing you. You're actually making a point of the depth of field and the toad in the foreground and the buildings and the, whatever, the terrain that they're conquering and so on.
I am, but I'm also.
And there's almost a shot where you're interviewing some guy in a library and everybody laughs. Because it's in 3D, and he's just a talking head in the library.
It's interesting because what I found about 3D. I mean, I've seen it in 2D and I've seen it in 3D, and I've seen it back to back, 2D, 3D. Because 3D is so unique a tool and unique a process, that what I find with 3D, and it's to the detriment of the tool, and that is people take a little while to get accustomed to the fact that they're seeing things in a vision.
So that's at the very beginning.
Yeah, and what happens is you don't get into the film. And I actually said to Cooper before we started, I said, look, please don't talk about the 3D. I don't want you to hype the 3D because it's a film that uses 3D. And when you hype 3D, what I've found is that people then are watching the 3D. Is the 3D working? Is the 3D not working? And they're not as involved or entwined with the content as one would hope. So that. Yeah, it's an interesting aesthetic and it's an interesting tool, but we're all learning it. But getting back to the challenge or the difficulty, it was difficult. But on the other hand, for a very cynical bunch of film-going crew, everybody embraced it, and they embraced it as a challenge, and that made it very, very interesting because. Rather than being sort of a grumpy bunch of people doing something that they traditionally do, they all embraced it and embraced the technology because they learned so much out of it. We all learned so much out of it. We're still learning every single day.
I think it will enhance the film's commerciality in terms of selling it here.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean,
have you any evidence of that?
No, I mean it's too early, really. I mean, it's not. I don't think Sundance anymore is. People fighting over one another.
Not on the dog side.
Not on the dog side. No, it takes a while, but I'm hopeful. I mean, we did have one group of distributors leave last night, and they basically said, this film is too big for us. There were too small a distributor. I think that what they were suggesting was, the film has got potential that's above their means. And what I mean by that is, we need, for this independent film, we need more of a major sort of a distributor, because the major distributors have the lock and the
access to the screen.
Yes, exactly.
That's the issue.
That's the issue. The access to the screen.
Indies don't have it. They can't get them.
No. So in other words, we need someone who's bigger.
That's unfortunate that that's the case.
Yes and no. But what you will find is at the same time you'll find that other ancillaries like Blu-ray, like television, like cable, free-to-air, all of these things are rapidly emerging and going 3D as well. So while it could be a challenge to find more of a major type of distributor, there's also other distribution avenues opening up. Now, every man and his dog in the last couple of weeks has announced a 3D-ready TV set. Samsung, LG, Hyundai, JVC, Sony, Panasonic, all of them, 3D-ready TV. There's no content, nothing. So here I am with a film that's palatable to a wide audience, that's 3D ready, and so it's going to be, it's going to be great potential for the content in 3D. The other way of looking at it, which I stress, is 3D is not only a tool to be used in the filmmaking, but you can think of 3D as future-proofing your media. So you're future-proofing it for anything that could open up in the future as well.
True.
be it
And you're going to have 3D in the home. You're going to have
Sure.
3D, and that's
sure.
and you'll have 3D DVDs, and people
all
will
of
be
that.
able to see that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Long tail.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you very much.